Our next speaker was the woman who organised the reading of the names at the front gate a few weeks back. And it was one of the most moving things in all the years that we're doing events here at Bessborough. This was one of the most moving events. We read every single name. The organiser of that was Cllr Noelle. Thank you, Noelle Brown. I do that. I make a mistake every time. Cllr Noelle Brown, come over here.
Thank you, PJ. Good afternoon. Anytime I come here, I'm always struck by the beauty and the peace and the beautiful grounds. And despite the large-scale human rights abuses that took place here across decades. And I remember being at Sean Ross Abbey, the former mother and baby home, and someone said to me, the building is still beautiful. The grounds are still beautiful despite what happened. It's not the building's fault. It's not the ground's fault. That was someone else's decision. I've attended this commemoration as often as I can over the years, and it's always deeply moving, but I think this year in particular, it is doubly poignant. As you know, we're in the middle of a campaign to stop the development on these sacred lands. We are running an online campaign, despite the fact that clearly none of us are digital natives. We held a protest outside the Dáil, 2 vigils at the gates of Bessborough, including a reading of the names and ages of every child that died. We supported a protest by the students and staff of Larkin Community College outside the Dáil, and hopefully brought this issue fully to the public conscience. At the same time we are doing all this, we are witnessing a long overdue excavation at Tuam. Again, this government has decided to divide an issue that relates to the history of these institutions, an excavation on one sensitive site and planning permission on another. Like Carmel and many others here today, I've been campaigning for many years around the issue of mother and baby homes. I campaign artistically and politically. But I can honestly say this is the hardest campaign emotionally that I've been involved in. I had to question myself constantly and keep a voice in my head telling me, pull yourself together. It's going to be okay. But it isn't the same this time. I'm not telling my own story over and over again to elicit some kind of appropriate legislation that would give me and all the other adoptees equality as Irish citizens. This campaign goes to the heart of the issue. The little lives lost through neglect and cruelty, who were then discarded in unmarked graves right here. Somewhere, those nuns, the Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and Mary, who perpetrated these large-scale human rights abuses against mothers and children, are sitting in comfort somewhere, feeling that they did a job well done, and going to their graves with information that would help the mothers and families of these Bessborough infants and children. And the Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and Mary are not being held accountable, not being forced to give up records of what happened here. They also ran Cllr and Sean Ross Abbey, where hundreds of burials are also unaccounted for. I got an email recently about a stance I took on another human rights abuse issue, telling me that I was cursed and my people were cursed for 7 generations and the heavens would be pulled down on me, or words to that effect. You know the drill, lots of graphic biblical stuff. I never bought into curses before, but honestly, I took a minute and thought, where could I send this email? Who deserves this email more than I do? And I found myself thinking of the Bessborough Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and Mary. And I'm sorry, but I cursed them to hell and back from the bottom of my heart, because they never did God's work. They abused their power. They practiced a particular kind of cruelty against women and children when they were at their most vulnerable. When the history of what's happening right now in Bessborough is written, when the history of these institutions is finally being taught in schools, people will question, why did the nation let this happen? We will be judged, and judged harshly, and rightly so. We have no excuse not to fight this now. We don't live in a theocracy built by the Catholic Church to keep us in fear and shame anymore. We have the freedom to fight this issue, to hold the government to account, to hold the Catholic Church to account. So we have a duty, as Catherine Corliss posted on social media. We have a duty because these were Cork people, Cork children who never got a chance to grow up. It's clear that people do care. Look at the numbers here today. The responses we've had on social media have been absolutely incredible. So I'm asking you to contact your public representatives, contact on Commission Glenalla, and make your voices heard. Speak from your heart. You've done it once before on the Repeal the Seal campaign. You raised your voices and you broke the Dáil server. And the government was forced to do a U-turn. If this decision goes against us on July 9th, we're not done fighting. Outside the Dáil, the wonderful Senator Laura Harman, who's here today, mentioned chaining ourselves to the diggers. I'm with her on that. The fight is not one to give up, not one to turn away from. Join us. Raise your voices, not for us. It's not about us. It's about the 923 infants and children and their mothers who never got to live their lives simply because they were born outside of marriage and are not being shown respect even in death. Judging by the numbers here today, you are supportive. So please take action. Help us achieve a CBO investigation excavation because we need your help. A group of incredibly kind people at the gates of Bessborough took the time to read the names of every single child that died here. And I think it's fitting that I finish today with the names of the mothers who died in Bessborough or died shortly after leaving here. Elizabeth Carey, Mary Sheedy, Mary Donovan, Bridget McCarthy, Catherine Kate O'Brien, Eliza Lizzie McCarthy, Bridget Lynch, Christina Leary, Julia Barry, Johanna Keane, Nora Feely, Margaret Mahoney, Ellen Ryan, Josephine Larkin, Vera Connolly, Mary Magner, Mary Cuddihy, Mary Neenan, Nellie Glass, Margaret Cooper, Mabel Jessie Huckvale, Elizabeth Susie Hope, Joan Toomey, Louise Bridget O'Leary, Julia O'Donoghue, Anne Walsh, Ellen Mary Nellie Sweetman. So could we have a few moments silence for these mothers? Thank you. Thank you.